Welcome to the Business Age, your go-to show for the latest trends, insights, and innovation shaping the world of business. I am Naringwa Fianamothoni.
We are living in an age where technology is no longer a tool, but an essential part of every successful business strategy. During the International Government Communication Forum, it served as a platform of knowledge to discuss and analyze the future of innovative communication in the era of resilient governments. AI and digitization are not just buzzwords. They are revolutionizing industries, increasing efficiency, and opening new pathways for innovation.
The AI now has become something very important in giving the messages and to delivering the scenarios, many scenarios to AI product. So as you can see today in our camp, it is the AI skills camp. We teach our students, we have here a school student, we teach them how to use the AI in developing a video or an animation cartoon to produce UAE achievement. So we have some achievement about Misbar al-Amal, which went to the march. We have achievement about the organic food from Sharjah farm. We have a project about Sheikh Sultan and his achievement in Sharjah. And also we have about the train of Al-Ittihad and how it connects the whole Emirate. So our children are learning some tools in the AI, how to deliver the scenarios and make the normal scenarios into the AI generating, and then it become a video with avatars and with their animation, with a cartoon, and a very funny and hopefully they like this kind of thing as it is a new thing. It become an AI product.
Well, global communication, we need technology, and my contribution is the technology to the communication, especially what you have in your hand, a cell phone and camera. So inside all of these devices, there is a lithium battery, which is the power of your communication system. So I'm a scientist, I'm an inventor, and I was lucky to invent one component that made these batteries rechargeable. And that's back to 1980, so it's a long time ago. And now the market of lithium-ion battery has increased exponentially. We are almost close to $200 billion today. Expect almost double in 2030. So it's huge. Of course, it's not only about communication, but also transportation and also energy storage.
As we can see, in Africa, they can use it as AI tools. First of all, they have to use some strategic tools or some brain idea and storming tools. They have free tools and there is paid tools. So let's start with the free tools, and they are very useful. They can put the problems there. The AI can generate some solution, and then they can use this solution to provide it there wherever they want, in which field. And they can also, within the schools, they can teach the children how to use the AI in simple way, how to put, like for example, a free tool is a ChatGPT. They can just put a problem there and it give you a solution. They can study the solution and see if they can implement it there or no.
There is a revolution, many revolutions. Of course, the digital revolution with artificial intelligence. So personally, I'm doing effort to incorporate the principles or the methods of artificial intelligence into a battery, so we can extend the life of the battery, charge it very fast, and also make it safer. Some batteries, sometimes they have bad idea to just ignite, so we'd like to reduce this risk. And also important is the transportation, because in big cities, big mega cities like maybe in Dubai, maybe here, and other big cities all around, a lot of pollution coming from the cars. So if we can have something cleaner, that will be very good for not only the environment but also for public health.
The world is becoming more digitally driven by the day. To prepare the next generation for success, it's crucial that children learn to navigate and understand technology from an early age.
As we can see, the children now are very smart, and the AI tools, and we can say all the life is going smart. maybe we will be the old generation which will not going fast with the AI, but the kids, believe me, they are so smart, they can go very fast with the AI. It is a useful thing. It will help them to develop their self, to develop their skills, to use it anywhere within the study or within after that in the career life. So it is a useful tool which they can get benefit from. The AI, maybe we can see all the smart life have two things. It have benefit and it have some, let's say, maybe like a challenging thing. The challenging thing is depending on the AI as all and without thinking what is best for us or what is better for us as a solution. So we have to think and give the AI a chance to give us something and then study it from our perspective and see if we can implement it in our environment. So use the AI wisely.
As climate change becomes more pressing, technology is emerging as one of the most powerful tools.
Well, I think Emirates, they have the means, they have the brains, they have the money, I mean, all the resources that they can do to lead the effort in the Arab world in this area. And I'm lucky that actually I have some projects with the Emirates about developing a new revolutionary battery for hot climate, because batteries beyond 50 degrees C become a little bit dangerous. So we have to think about how we develop a battery for only hot climate countries where temperature in the summer can exceed 50 degrees, 55 degrees C, and then the battery may become dangerous.
Tuvalu, a small island nation with big ambitions, is on a bold mission to become one of the world's first fully digital countries.
Well, Tuvalu is one of the smallest countries in the world in terms of land area. We're 27 square kilometers. The average height above sea level is 2 meters. So we're very low-lying islands. And because of that, we're very vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, in particular sea level rise. And so we are at the forefront of the impacts of climate change. And scientists are predicting that because of sea level rise, the Tuvalu could be fully submerged in a matter of decades, 50 or so years. So climate change is an existential threat to Tuvalu. We're seeing erosion on our coastal areas, and even on the main town area, the water is coming up from underground. So people always think that sea level rise is coming from the outside of the island, but for us it's actually coming from underneath the island. So the threat is there, and that's the reality that we're living with. We signed a treaty that's been ratified now. It's called the Falepili Union Treaty between Tuvalu and Australia. And there are a few things inside of that treaty, one of which is a pathway for migration for Tuvaluans, and that's going to be implemented next year. The treaty also recognizes this legal proposition that we've been advocating for years, which is the permanency of our statehood. Because of the threat of rising sea levels, that we could lose our physical territory in the future. We want to ensure that we retain our status as a state under international law, because that obviously is connected to voting rights at the UN, maritime zones, and other sovereign rights and assets that we have. So Australia recognized that through the treaty, along with a number of other countries. I think there's up to 27 countries now that have recognized that legal proposition.
We look at the primary solutions to climate change.
Well, the primary solution to the climate crisis is for countries to take stronger climate action, to cut down on their greenhouse gas emissions, to ensure that we try and stay below the 1.5 degrees target that we set ourselves under the Paris Agreement. That's the primary solution. But we also have to adapt to the changes that we're seeing. So adaptation projects that are ongoing in the islands as well. Building sea walls, raising the island, reclaiming land. These are things that are ongoing at the moment in Tuvalu. And it is a very expensive exercise when you're doing those sorts of projects. and we rely a lot on our partners to support us. This is not the whole island, but we're doing reclamation work. So we're reclaiming, for example, on the capital, on Funafuti, we have a lagoon, and we're reclaiming into the lagoon. But we're raising that land well above 4 meters.
Tuvalu is one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change. Rising sea levels threaten to submerge its low-lying islands, displacing its population and erasing its physical landmass.
Obviously, we're dependent on countries to support us. We see it as a justice issue, climate justice, because the biggest contributors to the climate change are the bigger countries, obviously, developed and developing countries. So this is a problem that they created. So we feel that there's also an obligation on countries to take stronger climate action and support countries that are at the forefront of climate change. Yeah, I think there's a lot of talking that goes on. We have these COP meetings every year. We've been optimistic for some time, but we keep falling short. Countries are not making stronger enough pledges. And even the pledges that have been made, countries are not fulfilling those obligations. So it is disappointing in that respect, because it means that countries like Tuvalu may not be around in the future. So we try to be creative in how we package our message to the wider audience. I know we've focused a lot on leaders to try and influence and change how their approaches are. But I think the true power is with the people, and so the messaging has to go out to the wider population to raise awareness, educate the people, because I believe it is the people that will then put pressure on their leaders to take stronger climate action.
So what are the programs or the messages that you are using within your own country?
Yeah, well, I delivered a speech in COP26, standing in the water in Tuvalu. The water was up to my knees, and that went viral online and was picked up by all the major media outlets. It was something different, because obviously people never expected a minister to be in a suit standing in the water. So that's those sorts of messaging that kind of really appeals to people. It gives a very powerful image, and it gives people a point of to rally around that cause. So I think we have to look at the ways that we can be effective in how we package our message to the international community.
To safeguard its future, Tuvalu has initiated an ambitious project to create a digital twin of a country, essentially an online version of Tuvalu that will allow its government, citizens, and culture to live on in cyberspace.
So this has been also a very innovative campaign that we launched at COP27, where we declared that Tuvalu will become the first digital nation. In that we mean that Tuvalu could be the first country that could exist purely on the internet without a physical territory in the future. I know people have different definition of what a digital nation is, because people are adopting new technology and so forth, but you don't have a country that could be without a physical territory and will be existing purely online. So that was a campaign that we launched at COP27. It reached a 2.1 billion people around the world, and I think that it conveyed a message to people, and it gets people to see that a country is actually preparing for extinction, and that hits people in a different way, and we hope that it can translate to concrete action on the part of countries. We've been also pioneering this legal definition of state, because there's a conventional understanding that a state has a physical territory, has a population, has a government. So we're saying that traditional definition doesn't accommodate countries like Tuvalu that could lose their physical territory in the future. So we've been advocating on the international stage. We've been signing joint communiques with countries to recognize that legal definition. And as I said earlier, there are 27 countries that have recognized that legal proposition. So we're hoping that the more countries that come on board, it will create new customary international law on that particular issue. And so if the world recognizes that Tuvalu can exist without a physical territory, you need some sort of framework in place to ensure that the country can continue to function, provide services remotely. And this is where the idea of a digital nation comes in. The digital nation is a representation of Tuvalu. It is the jurisdiction of Tuvalu online, and it will host our governance system, administrative system. So all these things can be fulfilled even without a physical territory. We've also looked at different platforms, how we can use technology to preserve our culture and our heritage. And we're looking at platforms such as the metaverse, using that as a way to present our culture and give people an experience of what Tuvalu is all about. So in a nutshell, that's what a digital nation is.
We look at the vision for Tuvalu in the next 10 years.
Well, the primary approach that we've taken is to save the islands, our physical islands, because there's such a strong connection with the land and the ocean. Our ancestors are buried on our land, and no Tuvalu never wants to lose their homeland. So that's the primary objective, is to save the physical land. But as a responsible government, you also need to prepare for a worst case scenario. And this is why we're looking at this digital nation as a plan for the worst case. That if we do lose our physical territory, we can still continue as a nation. So it is, I think it's been a sobering process for us, because I always liken it to someone who's been diagnosed with cancer, and you know your end date. And then it changes your priorities. It changes the way you look at life. And that's part of the digital nation, is to look at what is really important about Tuvalu. What are the intangible things that we want to preserve as a country. And so that's part and parcel of everything that we're doing as a digital nation.